Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, welcome to the first ever Sir Enzo game review. I am the host of this channel, Enzo, and behind you, or technically in front of you, I don't know why it would be behind you, is footage of the game I'm reviewing, Valiant Hearts. Now, for those of you who don't know, Valiant Hearts is a free game for PlayStation 4 owners for the month of March in 2015. Um, I'm reviewing this game because I didn't buy it when it first came out. Uh, I read about it, wasn't really thrilled about the idea of the game. Not necessarily the idea of the game, but just the puzzle platform adventure aspect of it. It didn't seem like it was worth my money. But now that it's free for all PlayStation Plus members, I bought it, or not bought it, I downloaded it, and I figured I'd let everybody know how it was. Uh, The game is set in World War One. Now, for those of you who aren't history buffs, World War One is started when the Germans attacked Russia because of the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. This game puts you in the shoes of multiple characters, one of which being this man right here. I believe his name is Emile. Yes, his name is Emile. He's French. He's a French soldier in the game. And you also meet an American steam engine worker kind of guy later on in the game. You also have this guy named Carl who gets shipped out to Germany to fight, starts fighting with the Germans on their side of the war. And I didn't think that this game going into it was going to have a great story. I just, when I read about it, puzzle platform adventure game, I knew it was taking place during World War One, but I wasn't sure what kind of story it could offer us, what kind of original tale it could weave. And I gave it a shot. I gave it a chance, mostly because it was free, like I said. And I was surprised. It had a pretty good story. It had interesting characters, even though none of them really talk. The dialogue in the game is done through these kind of comic booky like word bubbles, but there's not words. It's just kind of pictures that they're showing you, and you kind of can read in between the lines. You kind of grasp what they're trying to tell you. You kind of grasp what they're trying to, lead you in the right direction. And while we're on the subject of characters, the there's a dog in this game. He never really gets a name, but you find him at one point during the game, and he helps Emil throughout the game. You can control him. It's one of the more interesting kind of tidbits in the game. Controlling the dog really kind of helps evolve the puzzle platforming kind of mentality that this game embraces. I really liked it. It really made you think, using the dog to do certain things or to go to places or to pull switches and stuff like that was really excellent. Um, I thought it added another element to the game. Now, the graphics of the game, you can kind of, look at the video and see for yourself. They're very cartoony, they're very artsy, but that doesn't hurt the dynamic of the game at all, at least not in my opinion. I, in fact, think it enables them to tell a broader story about what happened during World War One. And another thing about the story, you know, World War One, not a lot of people know a whole lot about it. World War II is largely the more popular of the two world wars. A lot of more heinous stuff happened. And this game really kind of just hampers down as far as the history aspect is concerned. It really kind of nails it. What kind of weapons were being used, grenades, at the beginning cutscene of the game, there's these two French soldiers that are riding bicycles, as for transportation, the clothing that they're wearing, the knapsacks with the sleeping bags, the wine that they were drinking, the types of food, and just really kind of just hits the nail right on the head. And there's these little tidbits, like as you saw right there that just popped up on the screen. There's these little things that you can pick up, or as you're going through the game, it'll pop up with little history tidbits, and you can open it up by hitting triangle, and it'll tell you an interesting little tidbit about what was going on at that time during, World War One. So obviously this is my first game that I'm reviewing, so I'm kind of trying to decide, should I use a 1 to 10 grading scale? Should I use, a 5 star? Should I use two thumbs up? And I kind of decided that based on, what I've seen around the internet and, the type of response that certain things have gotten, that I'm not going to do a traditional scoring system. I'm not going to give it a 5-star. I'm not going to give it a 1 out of 10. I'm not going to do any of that. Basically, I'm going to just list what's great about the game, what's really not so great about the game, and really just let the viewer kind of decide for themselves if the game is good or not, and just kind of let you choose if you want to play the game based on my experiences, based on what I thought was good, what I didn't think was so good. So that being said, let's start with the negative stuff. What was really bad about the game? There's no real action. There's action, but for a game like this that's set in World War One, a lot of trench warfare, a lot of gunfire and stuff going on, and you don't, for the most part, don't use a gun. It was baffling to me. I didn't necessarily think that that was a bad thing. I just think that since they're putting you in the middle of a war, World War one of the, as the title of the game suggests, the Great War, that you would have, had a gun and engaged in some type of gunfighting. But none of that happens during the course of the game, It's more kind of, oh, look, throw a grenade over here, this guy gets distracted, run down this ladder, and then just, kind of bop him in the head with a shoulder charge. Um, that, and granted, it is a kind of a puzzle game that's just supposed to be telling this great narrative, and it does that. Those are kind of some of the strong points. It does have this great narrative. The graphics are really good for what the game is trying to do. You know, the puzzles are fresh. They're different. They're gonna make you think. You're gonna have to use the dog that travels with Emil. You're gonna have to use, your head and think about what kind of puzzles to solve with Freddy, the American guy. Um, and it's really gonna keep you on your toes. The narrative gets better as the story goes along. The history of the game is rich. It's historically accurate, and that's great. That's very important for this game, I thought. And I feel like they hit the nail on the head. Now, as for replayability, there's none. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's really no replayability in this game. You're going to play through it once. You're going to get the story. You're going to get, kind of the feel for it and enjoy the puzzles. And that's really it. The puzzle, it's linear. It's a very linear game. It's go from point A, go get to point B, and, solve these puzzles in between and listen to the narrative. And that's really kind of it. Now, does that mean it's a bad game? No, not at all. Finally, should you play this game? Me, I think, you should play this game, especially if you haven't bought it yet. It's free for PlayStation Plus members if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Go download it, you know, play the story, find your collectibles, solve your puzzles, and enjoy the narrative, especially because it's free. Would I tell you to spend money on it if, maybe it's not March anymore if you're watching this video and it's not free for PlayStation Plus members? I would pass on it. I wouldn't pay the money for it. But since it's free, there's really no reason not to. It's a great narrative. It's a great story. It's a great game. I thought overall, I really did enjoy the experience, but I don't know if I would have paid for it. And if I did pay for it, I don't think I would have been happy with the product I got and with the results I got at the end. That was my experience. But at the end of the day, you guys got to make your own opinion based on how you play the game and how you felt about it. If you did play the game, if you did download it, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know how you felt about it. Did you agree with what I thought? Did you disagree? Did you maybe not like it? Did you like it? Let me know. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'm getting more game reviews out as soon as I possibly can. And again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name is Enzo. Your name is YouTube. And as always, stay classy, Internet.